Hello everyone, odedex here, welcome to episode 159 of my Synto Display. So in case you missed the previous episode, I finally completed my liquid warehouse project. Right at the ending of the previous episode, I kind of noticed that I could probably go for short meat, something added by forestry. But between the episodes, I kind of made up my mind to decide and give up on it because it's not that interesting for me, and I don't really know what the uses for short meat are. So I kind of decided not to go for it. So as a project, this liquid warehouse is now completed. And now I'm going to start looking forward into making use of most of these liquids, if not all of them. So the first thing I like to do in this episode, kind of something not related, or at least not completely related. At the episode of remaking everything here regarding to crafting tracks, I kind of made a mistake in my recipe in creating wooden ties, and I actually made the original pattern create 3 wooden ties out of 3 birchwood slabs. Now at the moment you see I changed it, I went ahead and changed it off screen because I saw the mistake, so I just changed it and now I'm updating you guys. The thing is though, I read the comments and noticed I made the mistake, so I changed it, so thank you. This is a good thing. Just on a side note though, these kind of mistakes actually don't make that much of a difference. When you make your miscalculations and telling your... no, it was actually a good thing. Actually, it was a mistake that may have caused... Whenever I got to the point where I finally crafting tracks, and I'm not far away from there, finally I'm running low on tracks, it may have caused the entire plant logistics network to jam. Like it would try to create a specific amount, it would send the materials and projects to create 3 wooden ties and expect to get 3 of them back, but since it's going to get 1, it would kind of stay in this state kind of forever. So it was actually kind of a good thing that you give me no, and thank you. Okay, so let's get started on today's episode. So the first thing I'd like to do, many episodes ago, I set up this automatic system, or not automatic system, to create gates using the Buildcraft assembly table. Gates are something from Buildcraft only. You can see it there. I've touched them before, not extensively though. I'm planning to in the future. And in case you missed it, gates are kind of the logic of Buildcraft. They are very simple to use, and the potential of them is extremely high. They actually offer some functionality which I don't really know how to get from other mods. So they've got their uses, and they're actually pretty good. So I'd like to get a better way to craft them. Now at the moment I've got this silly system right here with 3 magmatic engines and 3 of those lasers. And I kind of want to change that. This is kind of ridiculous. This is not even remotely close to what I would consider a good system. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is actually take out everything. If you're not familiar with it, the way you craft Buildcraft gates, you get the assembly table right here. And the way it works, you've got this the materials right here that you decide what you want to do. And whenever you can craft out of the material something, you can choose it right here. Now at the moment I've got no materials whatsoever which in combination can create something. But for example, if I dump let's say some redstone and some more iron in here, I should be able to start crafting. Just for example, I can show you. If I dump some redstone in here, I actually can create, whoops, let's turn it off, I don't want to create anything. I can create all those different things. Now with those things you can create other things, and eventually you can create gates. You can place items on adjacent inventories, like the output will always go into adjacent inventories if there is one. If there isn't one, it will go into the storage area, but it doesn't actually make any difference at the moment. What is this? I'm not exactly sure. Oh, I can see how much energy is it using. It has stored at the moment 260 Minecraft joules. Energy required 0 because it's not trying to craft anything. And, well, doesn't make any difference. Anyway, let's change stuff. So I want to go for bigger scale and more automatic and more useful. At the moment, it's not very close to even being useful. I could, if I want, extend my geothermal generators here, make them kind of a little more fancy. Basically, have more of them. But at the moment, I'm not going to do this. Let's store all the excess materials that I don't need at the moment and start extensively crafting a bigger system. Now previously I only made 3 lasers because I had a problem with diamonds. I kind of set up this system like 100 episodes ago or something, very long time ago, so it's very outdated. So let's start creating lasers. You're going to need diamonds, redstone, obsidian, and I think I better just add them to my to my Planet Logistics network. So let's get a blank pattern, and let's get some obsidian and add the recipe to craft them. I'm gonna, to begin with, just craft like 3 more of them. Just want to have a very nice supply. So the crafting recipes: diamonds in the middle, obsidian up on top and bottom, and redstone. Encode that pattern and dump it in here. And the other thing I'm going to need to do is I want to make sure it's all kind of properly working. So what I'd like to do is have every laser its own redstone battery supply. So that means I also would like to get some automatic system to craft redstone cells, the redstone energy cells. So let's take a look here. I actually said I'm going to do this previously, but let's do it right now. To craft one of them, I need an energy cell to be filled up with molten redstone. That's actually not that bad, and after you got a full one, you simply, on a crafting grid, combine it with either the power suit materials, but that's kind of irrelevant, mainly this, yeah, lead, this thing, and electrum ingots. So let's get it one part at a time. Let's get first a system to get me those things, the energy cell frames, which are full of molten redstone. So molten redstone, I already got a supply of. It's connected right here to this liquid transposer. Now this liquid transposer at the moment is creating redstone energy conduits. I can actually very easily simply add the custom recipe to here as well, and it will be very easily taken care of. I don't need an additional transposer to do it for me, so let's use it. Let's use that fact and get this working on the same transposer, but first quickly let's sleep through the night. Okay, so first let's get a system to automatically craft the empty cells first. So it requires hardened glass, electrum ingots, and diamonds. I think I got an automatic way to craft all of them. Yeah, there we go, electrum, hardened glass, and diamonds. Yep, I should have everything on a crafting recipe, so that's not a problem. Glass will be on the sides, electrum ingots I think on the corners, and diamonds in the center. Gives you the energy cell frame in its empty form. So with that, I'm gonna add that in here, and I'm actually gonna create like 2 of them. So energy cell frame, please give me 2. And also in the meantime I'm gonna get a little bit more blank patterns. Okay, so should have at least one of them already done, or not. Oh, I took away all the good stuff. Why is it struggling? The recipe should be fine. Electrum ingots, hardened glass, and a diamond. Well, I think probably just the process of making the hardened glass and electrum ingots takes some time, and since I took all of them out of the system, it takes a little bit of a time, a bit of a while. Okay, there we go, got one. I will need another to set up the recipe properly, so I'm gonna give it a little bit before continuing. Okay, so there we go, we got one. Let's take only one of them and dump them into the actual transposer. So I can create the manual custom recipe, so dump it inside here, let it fill up. Okay, and with the full one, which actually got sucked into the system, should try and get it out of there. Let's make the custom recipe. Now, this is actually so simple only because I've made everything so easily with the Planet Logistics and the fact that I have molten redstone stored the way it is. If I didn't do this and actually had to incorporate the smelting of redstone as a part of the crafting process, it would have been a lot more complicated, and possibly I just, as a result of this, I probably would just have used an additional transposer. But in fact, because I'm using molten redstone as a liquid, and I'm moving it around like I am, I can simply add the custom recipe to this interface, and very easily it's going to take care of itself. So it's actually very, very convenient. Okay, so let's go ahead and craft them. It's going to take a little bit of a while because it's going to need to create all the molten redstone, all the hardened glass and all of that. So let's get, actually I have not finished completely, so let's take the energy cell that I have right now, and in order to complete it, I'm going to need another normal crafting recipe with electrum, lead, and a redstone condensance coil. I don't know if I have that coil specifically. Okay, I do. And I also got this on the recipe, so that's fine. I'm going to need some electrum and some lead. Conveniently enough, I've got all of this again, all of this already in kind of circulation, either by crafting recipe or material that I'm collecting by mining. So that's the crafting recipe. This is normal crafting recipe, so just dump it into the molecular assembler. And after all that's said and done, let's finally get, let's have 6 of them, 6 energy cells crafted. Now it's going to take a little bit of a while, but in the meantime I can do other things as well. So while this is completing, let's start thinking about what do I want to do with it. So as I've said, I want to have more advanced system, possibly automatic. I don't know to what extent can actually go with making this fully automatic, or at least fully integrated into Applied Logistics, but I'm gonna at least try and go as far as I can. So the first thing I want to do is actually move it away from here. It's not gonna have enough room here. It's gonna take a lot of room from other places. It's gonna have a lot of different things connected to it, so I'd like to have it not there. I'm considering whether or not where to place it actually. Again, as I've said, since I want some integration into Applied Logistics, I'm gonna have to take that into consideration on my location that I choose. I think I'm gonna go for. I actually am not sure. You know what? I think I'm actually gonna place it somewhere around here. Mainly because I'm gonna start using some combustion engines using fuel. And since my bad experience with them in the past, it's in the far past, in the very far past, in my actual first season of Let's Play, I had some very fun incidents with them, and the fact that they can explode, even though the explosion is not huge. Still, I think I'm gonna have it roughly around here, kind of a little bit far away from anything else. It has a connection point of Applied Logistics, and or maybe not, I don't know, I really don't know. Maybe let's use this place right here, kind of elevate it and have a different room up top. I really don't know. Okay, you know what, I think I'm going to use that area right here, roughly about here. It's not too far away, it's not too close, it should be fine. So apart from the energy cells, I'm also going to need lasers. So I've already added laser recipe. To begin with, I did create 6 energy cells, so I also create 6 lasers. So I already got 3, let's create 3 more. It's a simple crafting recipe, it's just going to craft. And lastly, in order to complete this, I could use the existing setup that I have with Buildcraft Energy and extract from that. And I mean by saying that all the blue electric engines that I have right here generating Minecraft energy, I could use them as a base, but I want to use fuel. I'd like to use, actually, since I did go through the process of bothering myself with creating the entire liquid factory, I'd like to actually use that, and to begin with I'd like to get fuel. So, with that said, let's go ahead and start creating combustion engines. Now, I don't think I've made combustion engines this Let's Play yet. These are pretty much the most advanced engines that Buildcraft gives you alone. Now, of course, forestry and red power and other mods add up on that engine, but combustion engine is pretty much the most advanced you can get out of Buildcraft only. And I think I'm going to go from them. I'm pretty sure that they're the most efficient ones in terms of using fuel. I don't think I can actually see it. Oh, I can. However, it doesn't tell me. Oh, it does. Okay, so I guess I don't know if NEI does that or Forge does that. I don't know which mod does that, but I can see that if I use fuel in a combustion engine, I'm gonna get 6 Minecraft joules per tick, and I don't think it can actually contain information regarding any type of other engine if there is one. I think only combustion engine can actually use fuel. So let's do that. Anyway, let's actually, as I've said, let's do that and get an automatic system to create combustion engines. So, combustion engines require iron, glass, piston, and an iron gear, and I think every type of these materials is a part of my already existing system. So piston is one, iron is one as well, and gear, the iron gear is one as well. Just gonna need one to make the recipes, and glass is also an already existing recipe, of course. So let's input that recipe. So a piston, 3 irons on top, 2 iron gears, and some glass gives me the combustion engine. Now, in terms of balance, in terms of how many exactly do I want, I'm not exactly sure. I'm kind of firing blanks here. I'm not exactly sure how many I want, so I'm gonna kind of just roughly create a nice amount. If I'm gonna have 6 cells, 6 energy cells, let's create 24 combustion engines, like 4 engines per cell. Kind of maybe an odd number, but yeah, let's just kind of go for it. So 24 combustion engines. It's all crafting grid recipe, so it shouldn't be too long of a process, as far as I know. Oh yeah, it goes through creating all the gears though, so that's the long process. Like the way it's being visualized here in the crafting monitor. That's kind of awesome. So that's taken care of. In the meantime, probably I already have my lasers. Yep, and the cells. Yep, I should have 6. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 cells. I will need a lot of energy conduits. Well, not a lot, but I will need some amount of them. I'm probably also going to need some liquid ducts. And I will need 2 ender tanks, one for crushed ice and one for fuel. Now, this is also the reason why I decided to go for this little project. I'd like to actually use crushed ice, see how that works. But actually, before I'm using crushed ice, I'm going to actually use water. At the moment, the production rate of crushed ice is not very high for me. And I don't really know if I can sustain this amount of combustion engines. I've got 36 of them. I don't know if a production rate can sustain this amount of combustion engines running all at once. As far as I understand, I've never used crushed ice before. It's supposed to be a lot more efficient than water when you're cooling down combustion engines, but as you can see kind of off screen right here, I'm creating more ICBs just to keep the supply of crushed ice higher. So this is kind of something I'm doing off screen, inoculating all the temperature and humidity stuff into them, and eventually getting them working as well. But this is something I'm going to do in the meantime, and also while that happens, I'm just going to start by using actually water instead of crushed ice. So it's not going to be as good as using crushed ice, but it's going to be should be fine nevertheless. Okay, so let's get the combustion engines. And for the tanks, I don't know if I have an already amount of tanks. Yeah, I only got... You know what, let's use them. Let's use the lava tanks. Let's recolor one of them to lapis, so it's gonna be the water network. So that's gonna be blue, blue, and blue. Should have the water. Yep, this is the blue network. And for fuel, I don't think I actually have an existing network, so I'm going to find a new color and use that. I think I did save yellow specifically for this. I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah, I didn't use yellow yet, kind of on purpose, because I knew that I'm going to use yellow for fuel. So I'm just going to recolor these 2 existing tanks instead of making new ones. I should have a nice amount of dead line yellow to use. Shouldn't be any problem with that. Yep, there we go. So just place them in the world and recolor them. Both of them into yellow, 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 and yellow, yellow, yellow. And of course I'm going to actually need to set it up. So that network has the fuel in it, and I'm going to do that by properly setting this up similarly to what I've been doing so far with every other tank, which is, you know, connecting it with Liquiduct to the valve and all that good stuff. So let's break this block, have a redstone torch here, a Liquiduct here and here, set this to extract, and set up the new tank. So yellow, yellow, yellow now has fuel. It should continue refilling up with fuel, since again I'm still pumping oil, I'm still processing fuel, everything should still be running, so there shouldn't be any problem. Okay, so now let's actually figure out how exactly I want to place it. So it's kind of an odd number. I usually go for, you know what, let's fix that. I don't want to use an odd number. So instead of 6, everything base 6, let's go for everything base 8. So let's get 2 more energy cells, 2 more lasers, and 8 more combustion engines. Let me quickly go ahead and do this off screen, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got 8 of my cells, 8 lasers, and 32 combustion engines. So let's find kind of a way to set it up properly. So I want to have basically every laser for every redstone energy cell. Now lasers can kind of interface very nicely. You can place them in all sorts of directions and set them up as much as you want. I think that probably there is some limitation, but overall you kind of have a free hand here. You can do it pretty much whatever you want. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use that fact and create some shape of kind of some, place them in some logical order in my mind to kind of, I know you guys, some of you guys have OCD, so am I. I don't really like having things off balance, and the number 8 isn't really a good number for that kind of things. So I'm going to set it up roughly in a way that will make sense and still keep it kind of symmetric, if you'd like. Now I'm not exactly sure 100% what are my limitations, but I'm gonna roughly guess here. So I'm gonna need some more sand actually. Let's have it a little bit far away from the actual assembly table. So let's have the first energy cell right here. This was a placeholder. Let's get rid of this. Okay, let's pick it up. And let's have it like this. So let's have another one here, another one here. Let's have the second row here, and here, and here. And finally, it may be a little bit funny, but let's have this and this here. Kind of symmetric, sort of, not really. Anyway, each one of them will have its own specific laser, so every laser will be able to extract from its very own energy cell. I'm gonna obviously need to make sure that those cells indeed can do this, like they can actually operate on this one. They should. They shouldn't have any problem, but you never know. Just gonna make sure that every energy cell can output on maximum amount, maximum output, so which is 100 microjoules per tick. So nothing gets bottlenecked if it shouldn't have that. Shouldn't have the bottleneck issue, if that's even the case. To be honest, I don't really know how much energy does one laser can even consume. I don't think it can take up to 100, or not even close, but still. Let's have that. And very simply, I'm gonna do similarly to what I've done with my red power blue electric engines. I'm gonna have all of them on the actual same network to all be powered by the same combustion engines, so none of them should be kind of compromised. Like all of them should have connected to the same network. Now what I'm going to do is kind of use the same rough design that I've used in my lava production network. So I'm going to have this one long line of redstone energy conduit. Actually, I'm going to need it to be 8 blocks long, or a little bit longer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go 9 and 10. And what I'm going to do is simply have the combustion engine facing the actual conduit like this. So I'm going to have a row here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another row right here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And one on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And before completing the last one, let's make sure that all the conduits are in extraction mode. They're on the orange setting. So when everything is rotated properly, they will extract energy from the engines. And finally set up the last row. And this should be fine. Now I just need to rotate them, which is kind of the boring part because sometimes... Oh wait, they're all rotating very nicely with only one click. That's actually quite awesome. So that's all done. And finally, I'm going to do this pretty much the same thing I've done in my Minecraft, in my thermal expansion lava crafting system, which having those conduits, each one having a different type of liquid. So a row here, another row here, and another one here. And of course connect them in a way that makes sense. So let's connect them from behind. I'm also going to make sure, I'm going to find the proper way to turn them off. And this is actually kind of a trick that I'm going to use using my gates, I think. But for the time being, I'm not going to make it very complicated. Combustion engines, since they're being vanilla Buildcraft engines, they don't have too much of an intricate system regarding redstone on how to turn them on. And like, for example, magmatic engines, you can tell them to be always on or something like that. Combustion engines don't have that option, so I'm going to need to manually turn them on. Now, of course, I'm actually going to use that to my advantage because I'm also going to manually turn them off when they're not needed. But first, let's take care of everything else. So I'm going to need an input for water and for fuel. So I'm going to need them to be, the diagonal lines need to be connected to each other, but disconnected from the other diagonals. So I'm going to need this line to be connected to this one. So let's have it like 1, 2. Let's have this go. No, I need this one block away. So here, go down and go in here. Okay, and have the other diagonal, this one, be connected, whoops, to the other line. And the way I'm going to do that will be, I don't know. Let me figure this out quickly. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to use the fact that liquid ducts can have different liquids and still be close to each other, which is something I have ignored in the past. So let's have this line right here and actually set it up to contain something. Let's say it's going to have water. So I'm going to have my water right here. Let's actually clear this up a little bit so it's nicer to work around. Okay, so this will have water. I'm going to set the mode here to extract water into the system. All the engines should start filling up on the water. To be honest, I don't really know at the rate of the water that's being drained into the system whether or not it's enough. It's something I'm simply gonna have a very close watch on. I don't really know. And to be honest, to be really honest at the moment, I think it's not enough at the moment. I actually see the rate it fills up because liquid ducts work the way they work, and which is pretty good, by the way. They fill up every tank in the network fills up evenly in regarding to other tanks. So all of them fill up exactly the same. They should all have exactly the same level of water, which is a good thing. But as a result, since every tank has a limit of how fast it can actually go, and you can see this is actually being drained faster than it's being filled up. What? It doesn't make any sense. Or is it? Yeah, actually it is. Oh, I'm actually using a lot more water than... Wow, okay. This is interesting. I'm definitely going to have to transition into crushed ice, mainly because it's simply more efficient than water. Water is not as efficient. Crushed ice should be a lot more efficient. Yeah, okay, this will have to change. Okay, but I'm going to have to start with water nevertheless. So, water going to start filling up. It's going to have some bumps in the way, hopefully not too big of a bumps. But while this fills up with water, let's connect the other network with fuel. So since now those liquid ducts have a liquid inside them, I can freely connect more liquid ducts right here. It might be a little bit of ugly because of the way it's connected to multiple engines at once, but yeah, what can you do? And this one will have fuel. So this one will fill up with fuel. All the engines will now fill up with fuel and water and can be turned on. And finally, I can actually turn this on, see how it works. But let's get some system to get all of them running on the same click. Since I'm going to need to apply redstone to every engine in here, let's have them all connected to the same redstone signal on purpose, because I want to turn them on and off all of them at once. For any reason, whether it's being manually or automatic, I want it to have all on the same signal. So I can place normal redstone here, and I think I can place red alloy wire on the rest. So let's just place red alloy wire on everything. Let's just get a bunch of alloy wire and some jacket wire as well to make sure that everything is connected. 10 should be good. Let's get a lever, and I think it should be enough. Should be good enough. Pretty sure I can place the red alloy wire on the side of the combustion engines. Yeah, I can. It should have the signal moving to them to turn them on. Combustion engines, again, they simply turn on with the redstone signal the moment you give them the fuel, and you don't have to give them the coolant. But this is the dangerous part. If they're not being cooled, they can explode, and the explosion is kind of severe. It's kind of big. So you really don't want this thing explode. So just proof of concept, I want to see that they can all turn on without any problem. Let's connect them all together. So they're all have the ejected wires or not. Now they will be. So this is connected to this. Let's have this connected. Okay, I'm going to need some more ejected wire. Let's just take it from here. I don't have any red alloy ingots. Okay, 12 should be enough. Okay, so let's connect them all together again. So this will go down here, over around, and they're all connected. Okay, and right before ending this episode, as a proof of concept, let's make sure that everything is working. I'm not gonna finalize this now because I simply don't have enough time in this episode, so just gonna have it be able to turn on. And let's just draw the line downstairs like this, and have the lever right here. So if I give this a redstone signal, all the engines should start turn on. All of those cells should start fill up, and they should fill up nicely. Combustion engines create this serious amount of energy pretty much, and nothing should be wasted because I'm not crafting anything just yet. I could, just to make sure that it's working, try to dump some iron and some redstone inside it to make sure that all the gates are working, to create the most basic redstone chip, which, you know, just proof of concept, see that it's working. So dump those in here and create a redstone chipset. And as you can see, all the redstone lasers are connected. They all apply their energy into it, and they create a nice amount of production rate. It's using 33.6 microjoules per tick. This number is kind of strange because it's using the laser power instead of the microjoule power, but I'm not really sure. But either way, it's working. So that's that. In the next episode, I'm gonna continue with this, make this a little bit more automatic, make this a little bit more reasonable. But that will be next episode. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.